Okay, this is the performance objective walkthrough for databases. Just want to note real quickly, this tutorial is only for Microsoft Access. If you do not have Microsoft Access, you'll need to look at the other tutorial video. So when I first open up Access, we're going to create a blank database. So if I click on this one time, it's not going to default. If I had double clicked, it would have called it database 5. But I want you to name this with your name, because you're going to be uploading this to Canvas so you can give it to me to correct. Okay, we'll just call it database. So it's your name, database, and we start with a plain old open table right here. Now by default, this table is going to open up in the view here of the data sheet. I need to go into the design view where we can start to create our fields that we're going to put in for our suspects. So you can call this mystery or whatever you'd like to call it. We call it mystery, we save it. Now here are all of our fields and the information that we have for them. We're going to just enter all of this field information. And the first one we have is our ID, and this one is an automatically numbered. So we're just going to leave that one alone. That is our primary key. We don't want to mess with that. Next up, however, we have room for the person's name. So I'm going to type name in here, and I'm going to spell it correctly. The data type, so we're going to call that suspect. We're going to call it a suspect, and it is going to be short text. And you saw there that if I tried to use something that I wasn't supposed to, Microsoft Access is good about telling me, hey, you can't do this, stop, you can't just call it name. Okay, so for each of these, I'm going to be entering what they are. So the next aspect here we have is the person's sex. We have their hair color. It's also a short text. We can enter their eyes. That is also going to default to a short text. With their height, that also defaults to a short text. I could make this a longer text or some other types, but for what we're doing, we don't really care because it's just descriptive upon this person. So their build, that's also short text defaulted, and then whether or not they are wearing glasses. So this one's going to be different. This one is not short text. This one is just a simple yes or no. And now what we have is we have our table. We are in the view. So I'm going to go back to my views up here, and I'm going to go to my data sheet view. Do we want to save the table? Yes, we do. And here we have everything that we saw, so we can start to enter our information. The 40 suspects that you're going to be entering the information on are printed for you in your workbook. So let me just walk through the first one with you, and then you can enter the rest of them from there. You don't need to enter an ID number. That is going to be your primary key. That will be taken care of automatically. But we have Anvil. Anvil is female. She has black hair. Anvil has brown eyes. She is short. And her build is medium. We also know that Anvil does not wear glasses. So when I click on this next row here, I'm ready to enter the information for them. So this is one record. We've created a record for Anvil. I'll duck out now and let you enter all the information. When we get back, we're going to write a query and we're going to write a report. Now once you've filled out all of the fields, which remember that's an individual piece of data, for each of the records, I want you to go back and real quickly just look at your data and make sure you don't have any misspellings. One of these I had originally spelled as worn hair. Got some letters mixed up there. If you do that, when you write your query, it's not going to be able to find the person that we're looking for. So we're going to go to the Create tab, and we are going to create a query. Let's use the wizard. It asks us, do you want to save the changes? Yes, we do, that we've made here. And we're going to use a simple query. With our simple query, we're going to be looking for a particular person. Now this criminal was male, short, and had glasses, and that's all the information we have available on him. So I've transferred over all of the fields. I've selected everything so we can get the rest of the descriptive information. I'm going to click on Next, and I want Detail, which is going to show me every field of the record as it matches. So I hit Next, and then I want to modify my query design. Remember, we haven't told it exactly what criteria we're looking for. It's just got a query and it's asking a general question. So I'm going to hit finish. And when I do, I know a couple of things. I don't know their ID or their name, but I do know that they are male. So we'll capitalize that, get that right. I do know that their height is short. And I do know that, yes, they do indeed wear glasses. So I've entered the 3 pieces of information I have. You can see that Access has been nice enough to put this in quotes for me because it knows that it's text. I'm going to run my query, and now I have these 5 people that are potential criminals here in the case that we're investigating. So there is the query that we've written. Now from this query, we're going to write a report. So with the with the query open, we're going to go back into the Create tab, and we're going to find a report. So do you want to save the suspect query? Yes, we do. So here's how it looks on paper for us. So let's go in, let's make this fit on one piece of paper, then you can save the whole thing, and then you will upload this file to Canvas, and you'll be finished. So in my views, you see I have my views here. Let's go to Design. I'm going to click on the name of my suspect. I can leave that one alone. The sex of my suspect, we're going to make smaller. Hair color, grab this box. And you can see the box above it there is also getting smaller. That's nice that it does that for us. Eye color, we've got our height, maybe. And let's grab the build of the individual here. Okay. You can see that we now have this as our traits. Let's go back to our design and our contextual menus. Go back to our view and go to report view. And here I have my report. When I print this, I have a total of these 5 people. It's got their numbers and they all meet the criteria. Before you're done, do a file, save as, save this as an Access database. Okay. And we're going to close all of our objects. Yes, save all of our changes. And then you can rename this as your name report. Click OK. And we have now saved this. Well, maybe we haven't yet. We'll call it mystery. I'm going to place this on my desktop. I hit save. And I'm going to replace it as my old one. So there, that is it for the tutorial. Go ahead and upload this file and you are done. And you can move on to the enrichment activity if you're doing this for original credit.